Next up, I'm surprised a lot of people didn't talk about this on YouTube, but last week there was 11 people shot outside of the Empire State Building. Now, the gunman was shot and killed on the scene, and I guess he was like a disgruntled employee. Either he worked in the Empire State Building or somewhere near it. I cannot believe things like this are still happening. So to all the family and friends of the victims, my heart goes out to you, and this is just another terrible shooting that has happened. Speaking of terrible news, let's talk about Neil Armstrong. He passed away over the weekend at the age of 82, and it was due to complications from heart surgery that he had. Now, if you don't know who Neil Armstrong is, he was the first guy out on the moon. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. And for some of you that still think that the moon landing was fake, go watch Mythbusters. Go ahead, believe what you want, I don't care. But Neil Armstrong, rest in peace. You are a true American hero, and you are honestly gonna be missed. And speaking of some space news, let's real quick talk about will.i.am. His new single, Reach for the Stars, is gonna be debuted on Mars. Yes, you heard me correctly. The song is gonna be played on the Curiosity speakers, and how badass is that? Music artists out there, I don't care. You can say, oh, my album sold 10 million copies. I was #1 on iTunes for 5,500 weeks. Who cares? Your song was never debuted on Mars. Pretty badass, will.i.am, not gonna lie. I'm probably not gonna listen to the song, but it's still pretty badass on your part. Next up, let's talk about marijuana. There was a 20-year study that was taking place, and it said that people who smoke pot become a lot more dumb. Their IQ plummets. Now, they took 1,000 boys and girls, and they did a whole bunch of IQ tests on them when they were 18 years old. And then recently, they tested them again when they were 38 years old, and they noticed that their IQ has dropped dramatically due to smoking pot. Now, let me defend the pot smokers real quick. Reason being, if this was me back when I was 18 years old, and I'm in school and I'm getting A's in like science, social studies, algebra, whatever it may be, great, I'm smart as hell. But if you take me 20 years later when I'm 38 and say, even if I've never smoked pot in my life, I'm not going to remember a single damn thing when I was 18 years old. I don't know what the Pythagorean theory or whatever it is. I couldn't even tell you what that is now. So I kind of think that this study is it's a little off. And now let me speak on the scientist part. I have interacted with a lot of people that smoke marijuana in my life, and I can see when I first met them to where they are now, yes, you can totally tell that they are just not freaking mentally there anymore. But I'm thinking that this test really goes to those that smoke pot, 4 or 5 times a week, a day, an hour, whatever it may be. I'm sure this test is dedicated strictly to them. Now, if you're one of the people that smoke pot 4 or 5 times a year, this probably isn't going to affect you. Now, I have smoked pot in the past, and I can remember the last time that I smoked pot, so that just goes to show, how often I do it, because I didn't forget the last time that I did it. And am I going to say that I'm proud of it? No, I'm not proud of it, and that's why I don't want any of you smoking pot. And if you do, well, that's your preference. So if you are one of the heavy pot smokers, yeah, your whole brain cells and everything are just quit. Or ease up a lot. Just think how much freaking money you would save if you didn't buy marijuana. Because it is funnier than hell. Just follow some random pothead on Twitter, and then you'll see them tweeting, oh, I just bought so-and-so, and then later in the week they're like, man, I wish I could buy some milk today. It is absolutely hilarious. Well, enough about me talking about pot smokers and marijuana. We all have our own freaking ideas and our own suggestions and our own discussions about it. So with that being said, let's get on to the next story. Let's move on to a little bit of sexy time news. And we're going to talk about my favorite girlfriend that doesn't know that I exist, Kate Upton. She is back promoting Skull Candy headphones. And I don't know about you, but headphones were the last thing that I found in this picture. I did spot them in this picture, but it took me a couple minutes. And also, did you know that Kate Upton released a new video? Here's a quick sneak peek of that. If you want more sexiness, have you not seen Sarah Jean Underwood's new commercial for Carl's Jr.? It stars her and Emily whiskey. So on the link that I have given you down below, you can see the full commercial and also some of the fun behind the scenes as well for this commercial. And I think that's probably enough sexy news for today. And for our final two stories of the day, one, the story that I could really care less about, but I figured you might want to know about it. Snooki gave birth to Lorenzo Dominic Lavalli, who gives a crap, and I bet the baby's probably going to get its own reality show as well. And for the story that I've been holding on now for the past couple weeks, this has to deal with our wonderful state of Florida. This is either the best name ever, or this guy just obviously didn't want to give his real name, and his description that he gave to the police officers was, his name is Jack Me Off Mud. I guess Tongue My Balls Dirt was already booked. And that's how we're going to end today's show. Alright guys, that's going to be today's show. Don't forget to leave a comment on the question of the day, which is...